Good morning, everyone. My name is Jennifer Natali. I'm from Appalachian State University. Welcome to our first Divide Out session of the NCLA Virtual Conference. I'm really pleased to have our two presenters with us from George Washington University. I'll let them tell you a little bit more about themselves, but thank you for joining us, Joscelyn and Maddy. And they're going to talk to us about a partnership between librarians and instructional designers and how we can integrate library resources into online courses. Just a little bit of technical kind of work here with our Zoom platform. We have all of you muted from sound and video, and that is because we are recording this session. If you have anything you'd like to contribute, which we hope you will, please click on the chat box, which is along the bottom of your screen, and that's where you can ask questions. I'll be monitoring that in order to let Joscelyn and Maddy know what questions you might have. And also, that's a great place to network. So we want you to connect with each other. So if there's some ideas and you want to connect with some other folks, please feel free to do that in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to pass this off and let Joscelyn and Maddy introduce themselves, and we'll get started. Thanks.
Wonderful, thank you. Good morning. So I'm Joscelyn Leventhal. I'm the Online Education and Off-Campus Services Librarian.
And I'm Maddy Kadish. I'm the Instructional Design Director at GW for Central Services for Instructional Design here.
Yeah. So thank you, Jennifer, for the introduction. And we're happy to be here and chat with you. And yes, please do not hesitate to enter any questions or any comments in the chat. We put in a couple points within our presentation to start a conversation. So we hope that you'll take us up on that. Okay, so today we are going to talk about how we got our partnership started here at George Washington University. We're going to give you a little bit about the context here and the history of how we got started. And then the roles that the librarian, so myself, and the instructional designer team can play in this online course development. And then we're going to talk about what worked well, how we can help each other, how it's been beneficial for everybody involved, and a little bit about that process and the collaboration. So again, feel free to ask questions whenever a question comes up. And we'll start with a question for you. We are interested to learn a little bit more about you. What are your roles at your institution? What kind of institution are you at? This will help us to kind of figure out what we want to gloss over a little bit and what maybe you're more interested to learn more about. So tell us a little bit about yourself in the chat, please.
Oh, great. Instructional outreach librarian, liaison librarian.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, good. Thanks. This is really helpful.
So a lot of you, you have created online content. Great. Oh, we'll be really curious to hear more about your experiences then as well, Sam.
You're embedded in courses. That's good.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, e-learning librarian.
Okay, good. So we have a lot of people who are involved in online courses. Are you creating content and helping with the development of the courses? Oh, so it looks like Kristen has developed online content.
Somebody highlighted faculty buy-in. That's really important.
Oh, yeah.
We'll touch on that.
For sure, for sure.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, good. Oh, I look forward to our discussion then. Excellent. Okay. So yeah, we'll tell you a little bit about how we work together. But yeah, sounds like everybody here has a lot of experience in a lot of different areas, so can definitely learn from each other. So yeah, I guess why are you here today? Are you looking to increase your involvement with online courses? Okay, wonderful. So lots of like people with a reference and instruction backgrounds. Yeah, for sure. Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, increased marketing. That's key for us as well. Increased involvement, yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay, good. So if you, I mean, it sounds like everybody here has a lot to add. So as we're talking, please feel free to like add whatever other like tips or recommendations, or if you have a particular experience, like we'd love to hear that.
Yeah, getting faculty more involved, the librarians. Yeah, we have that same challenge here.
Yeah, just well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Maddy's going to be talking about faculty buy-in. So, I mean, certainly they have a lot of people vying for their time, so it can be hard to get their attention and get them to involve. Okay, so we're going to start by talking about the context of our institution and what our roles are within this process. So to start, George Washington University is a private, urban, and primarily traditional on-campus student university. We have a growing online presence. So, I mean, probably like most of you, like we're increasing what we have online, but we're still ramping up. We're not, we have not reached a plateau yet. So one thing that really helped with this collaboration and getting started is that in January 2016, we changed from being kind of independent departments to becoming George Washington Libraries and Academic Innovation, so GWLAI. So that's another way of saying that the libraries merged with a couple of other areas, with online learning, so including instructional designers, learning technology departments. So we all are, working towards the same goals of supporting teaching and learning. So yeah, it just made sense for us to come together as one organization. And so that kind of structural change really helped us to get this collaboration kind of off the ground. Like we've been like talking about it for a while, but being within the same reporting structure, and being in the same building was obviously very, very beneficial.
So I'm going to start by just identifying what an instructional designer is, just to kind of put us on the same page. So instructional designers bring expertise really in three key areas: teaching and learning, media development, and project management. We work really closely with faculty throughout the production process. So regarding teaching and learning, we apply tested instructional theories, practices, research, that type of thing. We work with faculty to help adapt classroom exercises and activities to an online learning environment. Or if a faculty member has taught online previously, we can help add in active learning to an online learning environment. We also approach course design from a student perspective. Many times faculty really think of it as a content perspective, and we help bring the students in that equation. What's going to resonate most with online students? And this student experience is a key initiative from the Provost's office here at GW. Student experience in terms of face-to-face, but also online students and their experience in online environments. That can also be a factor with motivation, student motivation in the class, so it's important. And then we integrate new technologies into teaching and learning, which brings me to media development. Instructional designers have skills in how to develop media for learning. Some areas including like addressing copyright issues, addressing accessibility. If you're all librarians, I'm sure you've worked with accessibility issues, things like making sure the materials will work with a screen reader, or making sure video has closed captions for students that might be hard of hearing, or students whose English is not their native language. They might really appreciate seeing the text written along the bottom of the screen as they read it. Another factor with media development that we really keep in mind in production is course sustainability. We're building a course with a faculty member, but they're not just using it once. We want them to be able to rerun this course for a number of semesters. So we want to make sure that the media, isn't just applicable to this week, like something in the news this week. We want to make sure that we'll be able to run that media or that video for multiple semesters. And lastly, project management skills. We help run the project and keep the faculty member on track. I lead a team in the Central Services Office. We have 5 instructional designers, and we've been doing about 15 courses a semester. This semester we have 22, so we're definitely growing. That's nice for us. Great. Okay, so we want to go through what the ID does in the process and how we work with the librarians, and that's Joscelyn and her team. So the instructional designer, we work with the faculty member to amplify their presence and voice online. They might be a great lecturer in the class, they might have great relationships with students, but really transferring that online and magnifying that online. It's a little bit of a different skill for faculty, and we want to help guide them in that. Some of the things we do in that area is help build a visual consistency and organization throughout the course. As I said, we direct the development of media in the course. We also help the faculty member develop their assignments online. And we work with quality standards so that all our courses have high quality, and we use a measure called Quality Matters. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that or worked with that. As somebody's saying, this is what we do at my institution, that's great. So Quality Matters is standards that includes things, it's a big rubric, it includes a number of things, but some things I'd like to call out are things like copyright, making sure we're following accessibility principles, and that learner perspective, which I spoke about. So Joscelyn, you want to talk about the librarians?
Yeah, so within this process, myself and then there's a few other librarians who work closely with the instructional designers, we help identify course readings. This could include both open educational resources to make materials more affordable for students. So for example, even if the faculty member doesn't want to switch to something that's open access, this has been a big initiative at our university, and so we can purchase materials, purchase like the ebook, and get an unlimited license as long if it's available, so that then students don't have to purchase the textbook out of pocket. And then this also involves guiding faculty to find course materials on their own if they prefer. I know one thing that we talked about related to QM is that the material should be, obviously very relevant and also kind of more current. So one of the things that, this will come up in one of our examples a little bit later, is that, looking for those more recent examples that help kind of prove or support the point that the faculty member is trying to make, while also having it be like kind of the most recent information within that discipline to really get the students' attention and engage them. So what we also do is create and or recommend online learning objects. So this can be a LibGuide to support a particular program, but usually it's more specific. It's to scaffold those really specific research skills that are required in order to successfully complete those research assignments. So we have a series of videos. We also have kind of static HTML pages to help with kind of those discrete skills that students really need to know in order to master searching in these library resources. And then we can also advise regarding copyright issues. I'm sure you've seen faculty who have like photocopies of articles they've used forever, and we help them to find something more recent or to find a appropriate version that photocopied resource.
Sorry, we're trying to. Great. Great. So a lot of people mentioned faculty. They are obviously very key to this process. And getting the faculty on board was really key because we want to encourage them to work with the librarians. So I wanted to just map out here the role of the faculty in the course development process. Obviously, they're responsible for the curriculum itself, and they really advise us, the IDs, on their teaching approach and their expectations that they have for students in the course. And we adapt the course to meet their approach and how they, what they expect of their students. We want to be upfront with the students on that. So the faculty support us in adapting the content to the online platform, you know, things like mapping out the course, providing us with the materials, and then we can go through those materials. What do we want to use? What do we want to update? Things like that. They, of course, are the subject matter expert. And then, as I mentioned, sustainability, they are the ones that teach the course online. So we want to make sure that we're building something that they can manage online. And of course, we want to make sure that they're interacting with with Joscelyn and other librarians. Okay, so we just wanted to pause for any questions, and we also wanted to find out if anyone has worked with QM or rubrics like that, and people have been putting that in chat. That sometimes it's optional, and that's what you use. Great. Okay. So we want to cover our process briefly, and we'll, of course, mention QM in that. Okay. So our process, we have this lined out as a circle because it's iterative. Great. So, so for phase one, we are planning and preparing everything for the course. We discuss the course goals, the learning objectives. We structure how the course is going to look. Kind of building the activities, planning the activities and assignments. So this is where Joscelyn meets with the faculty about the readings. For phase two, that's the development phase. That's where we're building out the materials in the course, the videos. And then we work with Joscelyn on things like copyright issues. Joscelyn's team adds the readings to the course based on what was planned in phase one. For phase three, we're building out the rubrics and the grading system, finalizing any assessments, and then that's where we do the Quality Matters rubric at the end. So Quality Matters is really baked into phase 1 and 2 as well. So there's really no danger of, not passing the rubric.
It looks like a couple people are using QM, not like as required, but that's nice to see that a lot of people are familiar with it. And
yeah, I see somebody wrote they don't have IDs helping faculty. I mean, I think IDs can really be valuable, and that partnership, I think, can benefit faculty a lot. One thing I just want to add about our process, we have sort of an evaluation at the end where I'll meet with the faculty and kind of find out what worked, what didn't work, how can we improve next time, areas like that we talk about.
Yeah. Oh, and just Janice, to your point, like not having any instructional designers, I mean, it can make it a little bit more challenging because you don't have, like, there's not already like kind of a partnership going on between the faculty and the ID. But I have worked with faculty to like get them to post some of these kind of standard resources that we're going to show you. So maybe you can still kind of adapt some of this, hopefully. So now we are going to show you some examples of how that has come into play, right? So we have standard resources that show up in all of the courses that go through this online course development team. And then we also have customized course materials. So those are going to be specialized for that particular course and what their goals are. So here is an example of one of the standard resources that's in all the courses. This is a library orientation. And we're very lucky that we have some videographers who are, yeah, it's very professional. I felt kind of like I was on like a PBS documentary when I was making this, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, so this is just an overview. So even if the faculty doesn't want to meet with me or another librarian, at least this is in all of the courses. So the video is just a 2-minute brief introduction, like, hi, we are real people, we are approachable, and these are some of the things that you have access to. Since you are a student here and are paying your tuition, you should really take full advantage and just kind of explaining some of just what we have available so that they take, there's, obviously, there's so many cool things, and we just want students to know about them. But in addition to that, things like a guide about plagiarism, about what it is and how to avoid it, since so many times nobody has sat students down and really explained it. So these are the kind of overarching umbrella skills that students should know about. These are some other standard resources. So I worked together with another ID to put together this list of resources about digital literacy, both like what individual kind of points people should be familiar with, and then where to get more information to kind of build those skills.
Yeah, so QM added a digital literacy component to the rubric, saying that students needed certain digital literacy skills to take the course. So I assigned an ID on my team to work on this, and they built this out with Joscelyn, and now we put this standard in all our courses. So students always have access to library resources that will help them develop these skills. Okay, so in terms of customized resources, this is a screenshot from a course where originally the professor had pulled some images from just a search in Google and didn't really have the rights to use these images. So we replaced them with one that the library does have rights to, and we added the credit there that you can see it's from Bridgman Images, and we added a quote. It looks great. This faculty member worked with Joscelyn. You could talk about that. These readings here are linked to, not to PDFs, not to like photocopies, things like that, but they're linked to GW journals and those types of things, so that the student is within the GW system reading these articles.
Yeah, it was really great working with this professor. She was really engaged and excited about, kind of updating her course and having more relevant, like newer examples. So yeah, I went and met with her. She wanted to find the resources herself, but I, talked with her about research strategies that could be helpful for finding, this is a gender studies course, so to help her find resources, within that discipline, both from kind of activists themselves, and then also, resources like scholarly articles from within the databases. Because, you've worked with faculty, they have, a particular way that they find resources. They might have like one database that they use, but it was really nice to be able to have this meeting and be able to kind of share a wider variety with her.
And then here's another example. This was for a course, a writing course in the EAP department, English for Academic Purposes. So the professor really wanted to scaffold the skills that the students needed to complete the assignments. So the professor worked with Joscelyn and her team to identify videos that would do that, videos that the library had already produced. So we have here a video about how to choose a subject-specific database, how to narrow your search, how to use Google Scholar. So we're trying to broaden the skills of the students so they don't just type things into Google and just pull stuff that everyone else is finding online.
Exactly. And this was actually a really nice opportunity because this English for Academic Purposes course is something that we have a really tight relationship with for in-person classes as well. So we have a really good kind of understanding of the research component, which is quite a big part of the course. And so we're really able to support those skills that students would need.
Oops. So we want to highlight some of the benefits of this collaboration. For the IDs, I mean, it saves us a lot of time in terms of finding and linking to readings. And frankly, the librarians know where to find things far better than we would. So it's a great benefit in that way as well. It really improves that process. It also helps with scaffolding student learning, as we showed, crafting assignments to really make sure that students are supported in those assignments, especially because it might be a little bit more difficult for them to reach out if they don't know something or need help. It's also great that the faculty is now learning about the availability of resources. So it improves our ability to advise faculty. So that's been really helpful.
Yeah, and it's been great for like myself and my liaison work and the other instruction reference librarians because this is a liaison activity that is really high impact. It's able to reach a lot of people. It's not just, and because of what the online course development team does is like you guys are like creating this course, which getting back to that sustainability. So this is a course that's going to be taught over like the next couple like semesters or years. So it's really reaching a lot of students, and it's a great way to like deepen those relationships with faculty and to reach kind of a wider audience of faculty that we might not have otherwise been able to reach. So that's kind of getting at the next couple of bullets also. So it's a great way to reach off-campus students. And by having faculty be more aware of the library resources and services, they're better able to refer students. This is also a wonderful way for us to raise awareness and encourage faculty to adopt open educational resources and more affordable resources. That's as I'm sure you're aware at your institutions as well, like affording course materials can be a big issue. So it's a great chance to, while faculty are going through this kind of structured, supported process with Maddy and her team, that they're able to more easily kind of transfer to them. Yeah, so that is all that we have prepared, and we are hoping to have a discussion with everybody here. It sounds like people have a wide variety of really great experiences.
Wait, so a question, is this
So this is a question from Jennifer. Is the standard content in all courses or just as a course gets revised? Ooh, that's a good question.
It's as we're revising the courses. So it's a new thing that we're putting these standard resources in the new courses as we revise them.
Yeah, so this isn't every single course that gets created like on campus. Though I do work with other instructional designers who are in other departments. Because as Maddy was saying, like this is like a central instructional designer group, but then there are like some schools have their own instructional
Some schools within GW have.
Right, thank you. So we, so I've worked with them to put like kind of standard content in theirs as well.
Yeah, but each course gets personalized attention when we redo them.
Yeah, thank you, Sam. That's a good question. I'm not doing it for every online course. The So that's a good point. I have been thinking about working more with like our team that manages Blackboard to see if that would be possible.
But I do share the resources with the other IDs around GW, so like they're in a lot of the new courses.
Yeah.
Most of the new courses.
Good. So, I didn't realize you were doing that
Yeah.
too. Oh, thank you. So we're both doing that. I think it's more of a like ask for forgiveness.
Yeah, it wasn't difficult to get approval to get the library orientation in. I think the faculty are they were fine with having it in their course. I think it takes a little bit of the burden off them in some ways.
But also it's part of, because you have like a template that you use for all.
Yeah, we have a template for all online courses, and we revise it as needed. So we revised it to add more of these library resources in there. How many pages is the library orientation in our LMS? It's just one page, but we have a list of the resources within those pages. So it's a fair amount of resources. And that template is part of the online courses that we produce. Some of the older courses don't have that template, so as we develop them, we add that template on.
Yeah, so I think this is, I just pulled up the slide again. So this is a screenshot, and I think this is the entire library kind of orientation.
Yeah, this and the next.
Oh yeah, and then the digital literacy. Yeah, yeah. So this, I mean, it's not that long, but it has links out for more information.
I know it's great that we're encouraging OERs. I have to say it can be really challenging with faculty because sometimes the classes are more either specialized or at a higher level, but I mean where we can, and sometimes faculty don't even know about it, so it's good to at least just make them aware of it.
Yeah, and we are taking OER to be like really kind of a broad definition.
Sorry.
So when I say OER, I'm talking about kind of affordable resources in general. So some of them are like as long as a library license exists for an e-version, we'll buy that. But yeah, that is a huge initiative on our campus. So luckily we have a lot of support and are able to buy those like e-textbooks when faculty want to keep with their copyrighted textbook.
Do you have an ebook policy for faculty?
So we will purchase the unlimited access license if it exists. Sometimes it does not exist. If it's a small course, like if let's say there's only like 10 students or something like that, you know, then we have a chat with the faculty member to see if it makes sense. And then we'll buy the 3 seats for that ebook. But yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't exist. And then, I mean, there's a lot of, I'm sure you read into this too, there's a lot of like education it involves also, because people are like, well, the e-version, I can buy the e-version on Amazon. It's like, well, yeah, but Kindles aren't Kindles aren't a format, obviously, that we can support. Oh, that's a good point. I'm not sure if that, yeah, as I get Emily's comment, that's a good point, buying a bunch of copies of ebooks. I haven't thought about that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to talk to our kind of person who manages that. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, if an unlimited license exists, like we'll definitely purchase that. But yeah, you're right. Like OER, while like an incredible movement, is not quite to the point where every class can move to it, especially like the really niche classes.
Or the graduate level
yeah,
classes.
yeah. But we're we're seeing what we can do. Actually, working with one of our history professors who's working with your team right now, to see if she might be interested. I think there's an OpenStax, I want to say. I think there might be an OpenStax book that might be a good fit for her. So tell us, I mean, what are some different things that you've tried with working with online classes that have worked for you? Or strategies for getting faculty to, online faculty to move to OERs?
Offering them money.
Oh, wow. How did you get money?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we're hoping to do that. We might be able to dig up a little bit of money. What do you do the grants for? Like for writing their own? The money for like switching?
Yeah, talking to them one-on-one, that's been kind of our approach.
Yeah.
Oh, course development request form. Oh, that's a good idea. Oh, wow. Alternates.
Oh, very cool.
I like the boot camp idea too.
Mm-hmm.
Librarian
Oh, nice.
services.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Actually, we're really decentralized at GW in a lot of ways. So one of our departments, or actually a couple, have used Pearson and Everspring that are vendors. So yeah, they have instructional designers there that, yeah, you could put in that they'll post library resources or links to things.
Yeah, and Gilbert, your comment, I'm glad that now the ID team is working with Librarian and learning services. I mean, I think that's great. That's similar to what you do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, so advertising my services. We're actually just talking about the IDs try to get meetings with each of the faculty with me or one of my colleagues. So I usually end up meeting a lot of them that way. Yeah, just as a step in the process, exactly. But this is just one part of my role. Like I also do liaison work with other online and off-campus departments.
But I have to say, sometimes it is challenging to get faculty members to meet. A lot of times they're open, they're like, great, I'm happy to meet with a librarian or with Joscelyn, with someone on her team. Sometimes they're like, no, I already know what I'm going to put in my course. I don't need to go through things. So, I'll encourage the ID team to kind of, well, are your materials up to date? Is there something new in the news that you want to relate to? Even with that, sometimes we still have professors who just are like, nope, this is my list of resources. That's it. But at least we have the standard resource that will go in their course so that students have the links and have the information that they can access.
Oh yeah, we're not actually members of the Open Textbook Network yet, but we are looking at joining. There's an organization in DC that really pushes for OER. I'm blanking on their name right now, but they've come and spoken to us. Exactly.
Yes, diverse perspectives.
Yeah, obviously that's a really big, yeah. It's, especially right now, I think it's on everyone's mind.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
I think also we're asking the faculty member to adjust their teaching style, or maybe style is not the right word, but adjust their curriculum a bit with making the resources more current, adding a diverse perspective, and some faculty members are more open to that than others. It's been really helpful to have QM because it's basically like, it's a codification of good course design, and it's basically like you must have, you know, XYZ in there. So that can give us a little bit of leverage with things like current materials and stuff like that. Oh, we have a LibGuide with OER resources. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'd love to see that link also.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it is Spark. Yeah, we've had them come and speak with us a couple of times. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, the OER platforms are compatible. Yeah.
Do we have any other final comments or questions that folks want to pose? We've got about 4 more minutes if anybody has other comments.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. We're really hoping that people would be very engaged. So yeah, thank you for all of your great comments.
Oh, thanks. That's a good point. Somebody asked how many different orientation videos did we make? One, right?
Yeah, there's one for students. There's a
Yeah.
separate one for faculty.
Okay.
But yeah,
We
that's
have
not
a
going to be
student
in
one
the,
and-
yeah, but it's not going to be in the
But this is a good point. We're now growing so much, our team, and we originally did a lot of undergrad courses. Now we're doing more graduate. So we do at times need to tweak some of the orientation materials to either a graduate school audience or a different type of audience. But essentially we have one standard. I think looking long term, we may need to make 2 or 3 others for different degrees or different programs.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been a great discussion.
Well, thank you, Joscelyn and Maddy, for sharing your ideas with us and sparking us to be more innovative in the work that we're doing. Just wanted to let you all know that this recording will be available within the week. So if you want to share this great presentation with your colleagues, you can share that link out so others can learn what we did this morning if anybody wasn't able to attend. So I hope you'll join us for some of the other sessions that are in the virtual conference this afternoon. But thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, Maddy and Joscelyn.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.